Lucy, we've had some news today about Rakuten, a Japanese online retailer, and AirAsia coming together on some sort of joint venture. What's this about?
Well, Rakuten, as you mentioned, the e-commerce company in Japan, has taken an 18% stake in a joint venture with AirAsia, low-cost carrier of Malaysia, who are going to put 49% into a new low-cost carrier to enter the Japanese market. And it is not the first time AirAsia have been there.
Right. It's not a lot of money. I think it's around a billion yen, $10 million US. But I feel that Rakuten have made these kind of bets in other industries before. Kobo, an e-book reader, Viber, a messaging app, and it's ended up being a lot more money. What do you think?
Well, it's true that I think that Rakuten have gone into some slightly suspect areas, actually, and it's been quite dilutive to their returns. Viber was $900 million, Kobo was $600 million. Those are much, much bigger investments, as you point out. So the investment with AirAsia is actually quite a small one. It seems like a very strange area for them to go into, but interestingly enough, the chairman and chief executive of Rakuten has been quite vocal about deregulation in the airline market. So, potentially there's some kind of connection there that we're not fully clear about, and obviously for AirAsia it makes a lot of sense. It's they're a carrier.
They have a online travel business, right?
Rakuten do have an online travel business, and it's not the only company that's tying up. Skymark, which is another low-cost carrier in Japan, has a tie-up with HIS Travel in Japan as well.
Oh, okay. So, what do we think going forward? I mean, is there space in the airline business for in Japan, that is, for another discount carrier?
Well, the low-cost carriers in Japan only have 14% market share, and in the rest of South and Southeast Asia, it's more like 50% and more. So there is obviously a large amount of opportunity here, but again, we come back to the regulation issue, so I think this may be where Rakuten can add something, potentially. But to go back to the low-cost carrier, there are 6 players. AirAsia will be the 6th player. So Skymark has a 7.5% market share, but ANA, All Nippon Airlines, and Japan Airlines have actually the biggest market share there already. So the low-cost carriers have been struggling to get in. They've only come in latterly. 4 of the players entered in the last 2 years. So it's still quite untried, untested, and they're struggling a bit because they actually have a shortage of pilots as well, believe it or not. So there have been hundreds of cancellations of flights this year.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thanks a lot, Lucy.